So this is the Woolly Wisdom Trailhead. I've never hiked it before. Driven past it dozens of times on my way up to Bogus Basin, but never actually hiked it. It's a bright, sunny morning, brisk winter weather, and actually with the sun out, just thought it would be a really good day to try it out. Something simple that I've never explored before, see what kind of photographic opportunities there are. We got a pretty fun topic to get in today, so I don't want to waste too much time in the parking lot. Let's get ready and get out of here. I think I found what I want to be my first photo of the day, and that's of this power line with the mountains far, far off in the distance. That's a very high contrast scene. Not even sure if I'm going to be able to capture it right, but the way I'm seeing this is a nice panoramic, like a 65 by 24. I think that'll look really nice, especially the way things are framed up with those power lines. Incorporating the man-made structure into the landscape photography is what I've been calling interrupted landscapes. And as long as you're embracing it, I don't think it's as obtrusive as if you're trying to take a picture of a pure landscape and a man-made object creeps in there to ruin it. So I don't know if you can tell, but I've brought the Fuji out today in addition to the Sony, which is in my backpack. I don't have the right lenses for my Sony to do stuff like this, so I am going to be using my Fuji to try to get this framed up like I want it to. So I'm going to try using my polarizer to cut through some of the glare that's happening because of so much atmosphere between me and my subject. But other than that, it's pretty much framed up exactly like I want it to. All right, the polarizer's not doing anything. I'm gonna see if a two-stop soft grad helps. So I'm all set up, we're ready to go. I'll start taking my photos, then we'll stitch them all in Photoshop, and I'll show you the results. This is the exact situation where, just in my last video, I was discussing having an L bracket. Because, see how my tripod mount, or my tripod head is set to the L bracket? What's happening, thanks to this long lens, is my camera is slowly drifting like this. Even though I have a pretty tight fit on that tripod head. I don't know if you could see this, but it's totally crooked thanks to the weight of all of this here. So if you're going to do a lot of panoramics, if you're going to do a lot of, those vertical shots, get yourself an L bracket. It's going to make a huge difference, because what'll start to happen is if you're making your panoramic and you got a big lens on it, thankfully this isn't a super heavy lens, it's going to just slowly drift. It's going to wind up kind of at a weird angle and it won't stitch quite right. So that's why I shot quite a bit extra above and below, so that when I do crop this into the shape that it needs to be, it doesn't look terrible. Being that it's the new year, happy 2024 everybody, I thought it would be fitting to discuss how you want this new year to look. What do you want 2024 to be all about? What's that thing? What's your goal? What's that New Year's resolution that you've been thinking about? This is the perfect opportunity to make a change, to improve yourself. or to even put yourself in a situation where you have to learn a new skill or start over with something. And I know it's a bit cliche, New Year's resolutions, but why not embrace that a little bit this year? I think far too often we set our sights a little too high. We put our expectations way out there. We set up goals that are honestly doomed for failure. Go to the gym every day of the week. Write a novel. Become a travel photographer full time. They're just so big and so grand. It's really, really challenging to make them happen realistically. I feel like a better approach is to set up kind of smaller, actionable goals that get you to that larger goal, but in bite-sized chunks so that as time progresses, you're accomplishing them. And then you're encouraged to keep setting up new goals. So instead of this one big grand goal, think smaller. Instead of, going to the gym every single day of the week, try doing something active every day. Go to the gym once a week. Instead of writing a novel, write a short story. Instead of becoming a travel photographer, just get out there, take pictures every week. You're still working towards that kind of grand vision for your life, but with these smaller, doable goals, you're not getting discouraged too much. You're still accomplishing things that move you closer to your goal, and now you're actually seeing progress. And that right there, that's key. Because as you see progress, you're encouraged to keep going. And eventually, one step at a time, you will make it. This is actually a really challenging landscape to photograph because it's so open and barren. There's not a lot of distinct and clear subjects. There's a lot of things to see in all different directions, but nothing to really draw your attention this particular hike. I think part of the reason a lot of people have given up on the whole idea of New Year's resolutions is that they've kind of set themselves up for failure, and so they just imagine that it's another opportunity to be discouraged. And that's honestly a sad thing. It makes me sad to think that there are people who had these ambitions and had these goals and didn't really know how to frame their life around those visions. And so all they did was focus on the big picture. I want to be a full-time travel photographer. And they didn't really focus on all the different pieces that they could actually accomplish to get them there. Don't be one of those people. Obviously, dream big. Dream as big as you can. And then when you're starting to build out your plan, make the steps actionable, make the steps doable, make the steps things that you can accomplish given your situation. You want to be a full-time travel photographer? Start a blog, start traveling locally. Take pictures of every opportunity you can. Learn how to tell a story with a photo. So in my last video, I talked about why extension tubes are a valuable addition to your kit, especially if you're an outdoor photographer, because I said that they could turn most lenses into a macro style lens. I'm going to show you exactly what I talk about using these flowers right here. Now I'm going to take a picture using my Fuji X-H2. It's got a 70 to 300. I'm going to zoom in all the way to 300 using the minimum focus distance and get these photos of this flower right here. There's one in particular that's got a really nice formation. I'm trying to get in focus. Find it. All right. All right, that's as in focus as I'm going to be able to get. See the distance, not too bad, especially zoomed in all the way to 300 on APS-C. But now let's see what happens when I combine these two extension tubes to my Sony. And we'll take a picture of the same little flower. So that's basically it. You've got your extension tubes. By moving the lens further away, it acts like a magnifying glass. So I've got my 50 on here, which has a shorter minimum focus distance. So I can get in all the way to there and be in focus. Well, one of those should have turned out. My biggest suggestion is to use a slider or something when you're doing stuff like this. That way you can very, very carefully move inward, because any kind of shake in your hand is just magnified. So get a slider, even if it's something that's manual, and just incrementally get closer, or lay on the ground, lay on the ground. Get your body wet and muddy. It's for the photography, right? I've written down 4 goals on my notebook that I would like to accomplish in 2024. And maybe the most important thing has to do with this right here. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is a drone. This is a Mavic, DJI Mavic Air 2S. I bought this in 2021, April 2021, and it's never seen the sky. It's never even been out of the case. Look, it's maiden outside time, and it's flying around like this. I've never actually flown this thing. Battery's never been charged. Why? Well, maybe it's a little embarrassing, but I bought it expecting to get my Part 107 permit, which you need in the US to fly commercially or for YouTube. And bought a course, was going through it, and every time I got to about a challenging section, I just kind of taper out a bit. I kind of give up, and I'd lose ambition and lose that motivation, and other things would take over, and I would kind of give up on it. So this drone has been sitting on my shelf for the past, well, almost 3 years now, never having flown, and it's been weighing on me. And I want to make 2024 about learning how to fly this thing, incorporating some of the video content on my channel, and then also doing some drone photography. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, but this year, folks, it's going to be the one. The reason I'm telling you is because I really need the accountability. When I make the statement, when I claim it, I got to follow through. So keep me accountable, folks. Check in on me. Make sure that I'm working on my test, because it's actually a pretty long and pretty tricky test from what I've been told, but it'll be worth it, especially to get this up in the air. Another one of my goals is to get into a good routine of posting these videos on YouTube. Over the past couple years that I've been doing YouTube, photography-oriented YouTube, I've been so inconsistent with it. I'll go through periods of posting every week and then stop for like 3 or 4 months at a time. And that has to stop. I want to see this channel grow so I can reach more people, make more connections, have more conversations, and enjoy this process and join the community of people who are, making this into something. The only way to do that is to do this consistently. Consistent, persistent effort. That's what I keep hearing. I used to be an avid, obsessive gym goer. I was there at least 3 times a week for years and years and years. And ever since I became a dad, it's been just like gym time. Meh, good one. And that whole workout every day, 4 a.m., I'm not that guy. I'd rather be out here at 4 a.m. if I'm going to go anywhere. So I think setting up a manageable goal of, can I go to the gym once a week? That seems like a good goal, right? Once a week, go to the gym for your health. So when I'm hiking up these hills, I don't taste blood. That's a good idea, I think. My last goal for 2024, which has nothing to do with photography, is to finally learn some jazz piano. I've been a classical pianist and composer for years and years and years, and I studied a little bit of jazz in college. But man, I'd like to get good at jazz. That just sounds like so much fun and such a unique skill. So what's your goal? What's the 2024? What do you want it to look like, especially as we're starting fresh? Remember, it doesn't have to be always about photography. Sometimes it's simple things. More time with family and time with your loved ones. More time in nature. Whatever it is, it's up to you. It's personal. It's something that you have to decide for yourself, and some guy on YouTube can't tell you. But that being said, I'd love to know in the comments down below. So sound off. Who's got some goals this 2024, this beginning of the year? Feels good, feels fresh, feels cold. So I'm gonna hike on out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate all the support this year, and I'm really looking forward to 2024. If you haven't already, join the adventure by hitting that subscribe button, clicking the bell icon for notifications, all those YouTuber-y things, comments, likes, if this was helpful to you. I feel like I should come up with like a catchphrase, you know, like some people end their videos the same way every time. Be kind of cool, right? Yeah, that's a minor goal. Not as important as the other stuff. All right, I'm done.